Why is it that the moment you stop chasing, she suddenly starts paying attention? You've probably experienced this yourself. The harder you tried to win her over, the more distant she became. But the second you pulled back, her interest seemed to spike. She started texting first, asking what you're up to, wondering why you've been so quiet. It feels backwards, doesn't it? Like the rules of attraction are designed to punish genuine interest and reward indifference. But here's what most guys miss. This isn't about playing games or manipulating emotions. It's about understanding a fundamental truth about human psychology that applies to every meaningful relationship in your life. Think about it. When someone is always available, always eager, always there whenever you need them, how do you feel about them? Grateful maybe, but do you miss them when they're not around? Do you wonder what they're doing? Do you find yourself thinking about them throughout the day? Probably not. This is the paradox of value. The things we can have anytime, anywhere, lose their significance. The things that are scarce, unpredictable, or just out of reach become infinitely more interesting. And this principle doesn't just apply to romantic relationships. It applies to friendships, career opportunities, even the goals we set for ourselves. But here's where most dating advice gets it wrong. They tell you to be unavailable, to ignore her texts, to act like you don't care. That's not what creates genuine attraction. That's just manipulation wrapped in psychology, and she'll see right through it. The move that makes her miss you instantly isn't about becoming unavailable. It's about becoming undeniably valuable. There's a massive difference. When you're undeniably valuable, your absence creates a void. Not because you're playing hard to get, but because your presence genuinely adds something meaningful to her life. When you're not there, she notices. She feels the difference. And that feeling, that recognition of your worth, is what creates real longing. So how do you become undeniably valuable without losing your authenticity or resorting to games? It starts with understanding what made you attractive in the first place. Before you started overthinking every text message and analyzing every interaction, what was different about you? What was it about your energy, your confidence, your focus that caught her attention initially? Here's what I've observed in countless relationships. The moment a man shifts his primary focus from his own growth and purpose to winning over one specific woman, he begins to lose the very qualities that made him attractive. His conversations become less interesting because he's thinking more about her reaction than expressing his genuine thoughts. His time becomes less valuable because he's always available for her. His energy becomes less magnetic because it's entirely directed toward her instead of flowing from his own inner drive. This is the trap. The very act of trying too hard to keep her interest destroys the foundation of that interest. But what if you flip this entirely? What if, instead of focusing on making her miss you, you focused on becoming someone worth missing? This isn't about playing games or creating artificial scarcity. This is about rediscovering the person you were before you put her on a pedestal. The person who had his own interests, his own goals, his own life that was compelling enough to attract her in the first place. Think about the last time someone genuinely missed your presence. It wasn't because you were trying to make them miss you. It was because your presence added something valuable to their experience. Maybe you made them laugh in a way no one else could. Maybe you challenged their thinking. Maybe you brought an energy or perspective that enhanced their day. That's the kind of value that creates genuine longing. Not the artificial scarcity of ignored text messages or delayed responses, but the authentic scarcity of a life so rich and purposeful that your attention becomes a genuine gift. Here's the move that changes everything. Stop trying to be what you think she wants and start being who you actually are at your best. This means having conversations that genuinely interest you, not just topics you think will impress her. It means pursuing goals that excite you, even if they take time away from texting her back immediately. It means maintaining friendships and interests that existed before she came into your life. When you do this, something interesting happens. Your energy shifts. Instead of seeking validation from her responses, you're generating value from your own actions and experiences. Instead of waiting for her to make your day better, you're already having a good day that she gets to be part of, and she feels this difference immediately. Suddenly, your texts aren't desperate attempts to keep a conversation going. They're genuine expressions of thoughts worth sharing. Your invitations aren't needy requests for her time. They're opportunities to experience something interesting together. Your presence isn't clingy or overwhelming. It's engaging and refreshing. This is when she starts to miss you, not because you're absent, but because your presence has become genuinely valuable. But here's the part that trips up most guys. This only works if it's authentic. You can't fake having a rich, purposeful life. You can't pretend to be passionate about things that bore you. You can't manufacture the kind of inner confidence that comes from knowing your own worth. The move that makes her miss you instantly requires you to actually become someone worth missing. And that's not a technique you can learn overnight. It's a fundamental shift in how you approach your entire life. Start with your relationship with yourself. What are you genuinely excited about right now? What goals are you working toward that have nothing to do with dating or relationships? What activities make you lose track of time because you're so engaged with them? If you can't answer these questions immediately, that's your real problem. Not her lack of interest, but your lack of a compelling life outside of her. This doesn't mean you should ignore her or play games. It means you should have something meaningful to focus on when you're not with her. Something that makes you interesting when you are with her. Something that creates natural boundaries around your time and attention because you genuinely have important things to do. When you live this way, missing you becomes inevitable, not because you've manipulated her emotions, but because you've created a life worth wanting to be part of. She misses your laugh because you're genuinely enjoying your life. She misses your insights because you're actively learning and growing. She misses your energy because you're passionate about things that matter to you. She misses your presence because being around you feels different from being around everyone else. This is the move, not withdrawal, but engagement. Not with her validation-seeking energy, but with your own life-building energy. Not playing hard to get, but actually being someone worth getting. The irony is beautiful. The moment you stop needing her to validate your worth, you become infinitely more valuable to her. The moment you stop trying to make her miss you, she can't help but notice your absence. But remember this, if you do this right, you won't just make her miss you. You'll create the kind of life that attracts the right people naturally and effortlessly. You'll become the kind of person who doesn't need to wonder if someone misses them, because your presence creates such genuine value that your absence is felt immediately. That's not just a dating strategy, that's a life strategy, and it changes everything.